And we have some breaking news just coming in. Let's go straight to these developments. Congress's Hindutva Iran jibe over uniform civil code in Uttarakhand. Congress MP Kartik Chidambaram has said Uttarakhand is the test lab for Hindutva Iran. Kartik Chidambaram of the Congress party has in fact hit out at the fact that UCC or Uniform Civil Code is now in act in the state of Uttarakhand. Kartik Chidambaram joining us this morning. Mr. Chidambaram, you've spoken about the fact that you believe that this will become, Hindutva Iran essentially once the Uniform Civil Code is implemented. And you say that Uttarakhand is a test lab for Hindutva Iran.
Like in Iran, where the government wants to impose a moral code and control people's personal lives, Uttarakhand is attempting to do that, imposing their moral code by asking live-in relationship to register and then asking them to register when they break up, then telling people on dry days they can't even drink from their own private bar in their houses. So it's basically like Iran, where you want to control every facet of life in the name of a religious or a moral code. And that's exactly what the social construct, the ruling dispensation wants to bring about. And Uttarakhand is the test lab for that.
You know, I also want your comments, Mr. Chidambaram, on the fact that there are some provisions in the Uniform Civil Code of Uttarakhand, which in fact are welcome. For example, inheritance rights, equal inheritance rights for women. How do you look at these positive points?
Obviously there will be elements which will be welcome, but there are also elements which are very troublesome. Nobody is suggesting otherwise. When there is, if you want to bring about a uniform civil code, there must be debate, there must be discussion, there must be, what do you do about Hindu undivided family? HUF, will the provisions of HUF apply in Uttarakhand or not? There are so many things which are debatable. The point is, but this is an attempt of the state to start controlling people's personal lives. This is exactly what regimes in totalitarian, religious totalitarian countries like Iran attempt to do, and that is what's happening here. I'm not suggesting that I am opposing. Of course, I want women to have equal rights in inheritance. And I have an only daughter, and I understand the rights of women, and that's already been enshrined in Tamil Nadu. It's in Hindu practice, women get equal share as men. But that's not the point. The point is about this intrusion into private life, into behavior, into what you eat. Even there's another provision, not in the UCC. In the Uttarakhand, I said that on dry days, people can't even consume alcohol from their private bars.
Right.
They must lock up their private bars on dry days. How is that? Now policemen will start knocking people on dry days. I think Gandhi Jayanti or whichever the dry days are, knocking on people's door to see whether their bar is locked, whether they're consuming alcohol. It's only giving a handle to the state to harass individuals based on their personal behavior.
Yes, Mr. Chidambaram, but it looks like, and Rajasthan, for example, has already spoken about it, as has Assam, the other BJP-ruled state here, that they will in fact implement a similar law in their respective states. But what I want to ask you also is that interestingly in Uttarakhand, tribals have been left out. In Assam also it seems that tribals will be left out. So what do you have to say about that as well?
We are giving out exceptions. How can it be uniform civil code if there are exceptions to it? Then it's not uniform, right? And then in India, custom overrides law. There are many customs which override law. The list of prohibited marriages Uttarakhand has is common in other parts of the country. Marriages between first cousins, avuncular marriages, consanguineous marriages are all allowed in certain parts of the country. In certain other parts, it won't be allowed. So we have to have for a uniform civil code, there must be an open, transparent, and a very civilized debate before you bring all these things in. So,
my last question to you, Mr. Chidambaram.
What about avuncular marriages? Okay. What about consanguineous marriages?
My last question to you is that the BJP says that what's wrong with this? It's a part of the constitution and advocated by the Supreme Court.
Correct, but is this a perfect UCC? Is it a UCC which satisfies everybody? Is it a UCC about this live-in relationship? Is it satisfying everybody? Is there enough public discussion about it? They're just ramming to it with their view of society. Their view of society is something which they want to control people's private lives. I'm sure the alcohol law is not part of UCC, but they're bringing some law like that. Even on dry days, on your house, in your private, you can't even consume alcohol. So that is only interference into private life.